Stacey Castor, a seemingly ordinary housewife from upstate New York, hid a sinister secret behind her unassuming facade. Her cold, calculating nature was masked by a veneer of normalcy. She was a wolf in sheep's clothing. Behind closed doors, she was a master manipulator, spinning a web of deceit that would have devastating consequences. Little did her family know their lives were about to be entangled in her deadly game. This is a tale of betrayal, murder, and the chilling lengths one woman would go to for greed and freedom. In the quaint town of Clay, New York, Stacey Castor's wicked scheme began to unfold. David Castor was Stacey's second husband, to die under mysterious circumstances. His sudden and unexpected death left everyone in shock, especially considering the eerie similarities to her first husband's demise. Her first husband, Michael Wallace, had passed away years earlier. At the time, his death was a devastating blow to the family, and it was believed to be a tragic but natural occurrence. At the time, his death was attributed to a heart attack. The medical professionals saw no reason to suspect foul play, and the case was closed without further investigation. However, the shadow of suspicion loomed large over Stacey. Friends and family began to whisper, and the community couldn't help but notice the pattern emerging. Michael's death, once believed to be from natural causes, was now being re-examined. Investigators started to piece together the puzzle, looking for any signs that might have been missed initially. The similarities between the two cases were too striking to ignore. Both men had died under mysterious circumstances, and both deaths had left Stacey in a financially advantageous position. Both husbands had died unexpectedly, leaving Stacey a widow, free to collect on their life insurance policies. The financial gain was substantial, raising even more red flags for the investigators. The investigation into Michael's death revealed disturbing details. Detectives uncovered inconsistencies in Stacey's statements and found hidden evidence that pointed towards foul play. Exhuming his body, investigators discovered traces of antifreeze in his system. This toxic substance was a clear indicator that Michael's death was not as natural as it had seemed. The same deadly poison that had claimed David's life. The use of antifreeze in both deaths was a chilling connection that couldn't be ignored. The evidence was mounting, painting a grim picture of Stacey's murderous past. Each new discovery added another layer to the dark narrative that was unfolding. She had, it seemed, gotten away with murder once before. The community was in disbelief, struggling to reconcile the image of the grieving widow with the emerging evidence. Now, with David's death, her carefully constructed facade was beginning to crumble. The truth was coming to light, and Stacey's days of evading justice were numbered. The deaths of both of Stacey's husbands sent shockwaves through their quiet community. The once peaceful and serene town was now engulfed in a cloud of suspicion and fear. People who had known Stacey for years were now questioning everything they thought they knew about her. Neighbors and friends struggled to reconcile the seemingly loving wife and mother with the cold-blooded killer she was now suspected to be. The image of Stacey as a devoted spouse and caring parent was shattered, replaced by a chilling new persona that left everyone on edge. The rumor mill churned, whispers of Stacey's potential involvement in both deaths circulating like wildfire. Every conversation seemed to revolve around her, with theories and speculations growing more elaborate by the day. The town was abuzz with talk of motives, opportunities, and hidden secrets. She became an outcast, a pariah in her own town. People who once greeted her warmly now crossed the street to avoid her. The isolation was palpable, and Stacey found herself increasingly alone, with only her thoughts for company. As the investigation into David's death intensified, Stacey's behavior became increasingly erratic. Her actions were scrutinized by both the authorities and the public, every move dissected for clues. The pressure seemed to be taking its toll, and her once composed demeanor began to crack. She seemed to relish the attention, playing the role of the grieving widow to perfection. At public events, she would don her mourning clothes and accept condolences with a sorrowful expression, yet there was something unsettling about her performance. However, beneath the surface, a darkness lurked. There was an eerie quality to her that made people uneasy, a sense that something was not quite right. Her eyes, once warm and inviting, now seemed cold and calculating. Her demeanor was cold, detached, lacking the genuine grief and despair one might expect from a woman who had lost 2 husbands. It was as if she was merely going through the motions, her true feelings hidden behind a mask of sorrow. Ashley, already grappling with the loss of David, now faced a new and terrifying reality. Accused of murder, she was thrust into the center of a media frenzy. The weight of her mother's betrayal pressed down on her. How could the woman who was supposed to love and protect her accuse her of such a horrific act? Despite the accusations, Ashley maintained her innocence. She knew in her heart that she could never harm David. She loved him as a father, and the thought of him being taken away so suddenly was unbearable. Ashley became determined to clear her name, to expose her mother's lies, and to bring the truth to light. Section 5. Unraveling the Web of Lies. Investigators, suspicious of Stacey's account of events, began to dig deeper. They meticulously pieced together the timeline, scrutinizing Stacey's every move. Their suspicions grew with each passing day. Stacey's story was riddled with inconsistencies and contradictions. Her alibi crumbled under scrutiny. A breakthrough came when investigators uncovered a crucial piece of evidence, the alleged suicide note written by Ashley. Handwriting analysis revealed the note to be a forgery. The handwriting was a near-perfect match to Stacey's own. It was a damning piece of evidence, proving that Stacey had attempted to frame her daughter for murder. Section 6. Antifreeze, the deadly weapon. Antifreeze, a sweet-tasting but lethal liquid, became central to the investigation. It was the murder weapon of choice for Stacey, a silent and deadly killer. Investigators discovered that Stacey had used a turkey baster to force-feed the antifreeze to her victims, ensuring their demise. The use of antifreeze was a calculated move on Stacey's part. It was readily available, and its sweet taste made it easy to disguise. Furthermore, antifreeze poisoning was difficult to detect, often mimicking the symptoms of other illnesses. Stacey believed she had found the perfect way to eliminate her husbands without raising suspicion. She was wrong. Section 7. A mother's cruel manipulation. As the evidence mounted, a chilling portrait of Stacey Castor emerged, a woman driven by greed and a complete lack of remorse. She had manipulated those closest to her, using their love and trust as weapons against them. Her own daughter had become a pawn in her twisted game. The investigation revealed that Stacey had been systematically poisoning David for years, slowly chipping away at his health. She had meticulously planned his murder, ensuring that she would be the beneficiary of his life insurance policy. Her motive was clear: money and freedom. She was willing to sacrifice anyone, even her own children, to achieve her goals. Section 8. Justice for Michael and David. In 2009, Stacey Castor was arrested and charged with the murders of Michael Wallace and David Castor, her first and second husbands respectively. The case shocked the community and drew national attention due to the cold and calculated nature of the crimes. Stacey was also charged with the attempted murder of her own daughter, Ashley, who had narrowly escaped death. Ashley had been poisoned but survived, only to find herself accused of the crimes her mother had committed. The trial that followed would captivate the nation, becoming known as the Black Widow case. Media outlets covered every twist and turn, and the public was riveted by the unfolding drama. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence against Stacey, meticulously piecing together the timeline and methods she used to carry out her sinister plans. Among the most damning pieces of evidence was the forged suicide note which Stacey had written in an attempt to frame her daughter Ashley for the murders. Additionally, traces of antifreeze were found in her victims' systems, a chilling detail that pointed directly to Stacey's involvement. The method of poisoning was both cruel and calculated. Her inconsistent statements to police further unraveled her web of lies. Each interrogation revealed more contradictions, painting a clear picture of her guilt. The jury deliberated for 4 days, carefully considering the overwhelming evidence before them. Finally, they returned with a verdict, guilty on all counts. Stacey Castor was convicted on all counts, bringing a sense of closure to the families of Michael and David. The courtroom erupted in a mix of relief and sorrow. She had finally been held accountable for her heinous crimes. Stacey was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, ensuring she would never harm anyone again. Justice had been served for Michael and David, and their memories were honored in a heartfelt memorial service. The community came together to mourn and remember the lives lost, but the scars of Stacey's betrayal would forever remain on those she had left behind. The emotional wounds inflicted by her actions would take a lifetime to heal if they ever truly could. Section 9. A Daughter's Strength. Ashley, who had endured unimaginable pain and betrayal, faced her mother in court. She delivered a powerful victim impact statement, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and heartbreak. She spoke of the pain of losing her stepfather, the horror of being falsely accused, and the devastating realization that her own mother had tried to kill her. Ashley's courage in confronting her mother, in refusing to be silenced, was a testament to her strength and resilience. She had emerged from the depths of despair, her spirit unbroken. Her story serves as a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable darkness, hope and justice can prevail.